Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in this world of ours. Well, I know where I am anyway, at least. Welcome to Canon Fodder TV on the Easy Talk. The Easy Talk still the number one show on Canon Fodder TV platform. I'm joined by my two brothers from another mother. Aldric, how are you, brother?
How are you, Alex? How are you, Prosper? And also hi to all the viewers from Canon Fodder TV. It's a pleasure to be here. As I mentioned earlier, I'm very excited for tomorrow's game. So the hype is real now. We're on the nice stage of the season.
Yeah, yeah. And actually, congratulations to my brother Aldric, newly married,
That's
got
right.
wedded.
That's right. I'm
All the
happily,
Congratulations,
best,
man.
all
happily
the best.
married. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
well done,
I
well
joined
done,
the
well done.
married club,
Yeah.
but I'm
And
happily, I'm
brother
happily joining
Prosper.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
Good,
yeah.
good, good, good. How you Prosper? You okay, man?
I'm okay. I'm very good. Never been
Okay,
better.
okay, good, good. Don't let Arsenal spoil your well-being, man. Don't let it happen.
Never, never.
Right. So, I was just talking to my brothers before we went live, and we do have set topics, but hot off the bat, I actually want to talk about this situation here with, is it a situation? I don't know. Thomas Partey is out injured um, again. He suffered some setback ahead of his recovery, ahead of the Liverpool clash. Um, I'm going to ask Aldric, do we stick still? Do we stay with Thomas Partey, or do we think, actually, you know what, we need to let him go? What are your thoughts, brother Aldric, man?
Well, this is so unlucky. It's a shame what he's been through during these seasons and the previous ones with us. Um, I don't know if we should get rid of him. Um, Honestly, he is very important for the team. And what I want to talk about is not just with Thomas Partey. Since we moved to the Emirates Stadium, it's unbelievable how we have a crucial player always injured in every single of our seasons since we're in the new stadium. I can name a list without thinking a lot about it. Thomas Rosicky, Santi Cazorla, Abu Dhabi, Jack Wilshere, Theo Walcott, Aaron Ramsey, and so on and so on and so on. It's unbelievable how we go through to this process with at least one player for per season. And well, I heard Mikel Arteta saying something on the conference today, stating that when Thomas Partey is at the field, that he adds something different that no other player from the squad does, and it's the truth. Um, we can respect the contract. I think that if this injury setback is for a couple of weeks, well, his test is gonna be on the remaining season. That's when we're going to see if we need him or if we have to sell him. In case that he recovers, that he really recovers from now this new injury, and he's ready to play. Well, he has their final test on the remaining season because he's gonna be very crucial on Champions League and the Premier.
Okay, all right. Prosper, your thoughts about Thomas Partey again out injured? Well, yeah.
Well, the Thomas Party situation is kind of a conundrum for me. I mean, if you look at the player and if you look at how we've managed him as a player, I think we haven't done as great as a club. So I don't expect us to be so harsh on him. And as Audric has said, let's see how it goes to the end of the season. Then we can decide on what to do with Party because I don't think getting rid of Party is a solution. I mean, I'm not a medical person, but if it's a recurring injury, that's keeping him away from the game. And if it can't be sorted out, then that's where we have to think twice about it. But as it is right now, I feel like if he can heal from that injury, he needs support. Because if you look at his age, he's no longer youthful. These things will keep coming as long as he's overworked in that position. So he just needs probably a backup and another backup in the youth team. Because ever since the reign of Gilberto and probably Song, we haven't replaced that defensive midfielder position. And it's just sad how we've been conducting business. But this is where it's come to hit us. You get a good defending midfielder. Actually, Thomas Partey to me wasn't a defending midfielder. He just has that quality. He's a center midfielder. But at least we got him. So we're hoping, okay, we're gonna get a box to box defending, hard tackling defending midfielder. And that defending midfielder never came. You see? So
but
till today, 2 seasons down the line, we haven't given a solution to that position.
two points I want to put to both you and Aldrich, that with Man City at least, they do not ask their players to play 38 games in the Premier League. The rotation is incredible. There's almost no drop off. Look at Kevin De Bruyne has just come back. 3 games in, he's making an instant impact again on the first team. All right. Now, we've spoken in the group about the amount of workload that Thomas Partey has been asked to do. Now, as long as Mikel Arteta is the manager at Arsenal, nothing's going to change, Aldrich. He's going to be asked to do the same thing season after season. Nothing's going to change.
Well, based on that, what I can say is that we've been very unlucky with the team, because it's not just Thomas. If you
Yeah,
see, like,
yeah.
all the team
Mm.
lines have been injured, and that's something that happened even with Wenger, with Wenger until this date. We've been discussing about an important player being injured in every show. I think during
Yeah.
different seasons. So it's not something to point Arteta itself. I don't know exactly what would be with the club itself. We're talking about the physios and all the people that is in charge of the medical part for the club. Because this is something that we're going to discuss every single season, and I think that
Mm.
if Jurgen Klopp goes, if Pep Guardiola goes, Ancelotti, any single manager who arrives to the Emirates, he has to deal like with this thing. I don't know exactly what is happening, but this is something recurring that not just goes directly to Arteta.
But what about, if we put Thomas Partey aside, another player who's been asked above and beyond to play almost every single game is Bukayo Saka. Who is his natural competition in that position, Aldrich? There's,
Yes, yeah, I'm thankful that you said Bukayo Saka directly, because we don't have a specific player to be a backup for Saka
mm,
on the past 3 seasons. If you see, if Martinelli is not fit or is not playing well, we have Trossard, and that competition is up there. We know that there is a replacement on that field, on that side of the field, but with
mm,
Saka, we can trust Nelson. We know that Nelson is not on the same level of Bukayo Saka. So if we want to have a proper right wing, I think that we need to sign one. But on this season, it's gonna be difficult, and it's a shame for Reese, because I think that when he is not injured, he is a player that provides something different. But his level has not been the same after the Bournemouth game that he saved us. I think that after that, we never seen another Nelson that is going to be crucial.
mm.
Um, I think I think that there isn't going to be any change for the remaining season. We have to stick on what we have, but it's urgent for Arteta and also the club itself to see that we need a backup for Saka. We cannot
Yeah.
rely on him, because if there is an injury, a long-term injury, we're gonna be with difficulties on finding the right player to play on that side.
Mm. And finally, Aldrich, before I go to Prosper, are you surprised that we didn't, in the end, buy any players in a January transfer window?
No, because we knew exactly how the FFP rules were going to be. And if there
Mm.
isn't going to be any type of exit, we're not gonna see any player in, at least during this window. And Arteta is being clear that he's going to stick with their players
Yeah.
on the remaining season. So we have to have our finger crossed. I've seen that Tomiyasu has been playing with Japan on the Asian Cup. He's
Mm.
been playing 90 minutes, and the previous games also he's been a starter. So that's something good. We're gonna have one of our important players back, and the same with Timber. Now I think that the long injury recoveries are our new signings because we're having this since the starting of the season. So those are our signings, those players back.
God damn. Oh dear. Prosper. So no backup for Thomas Partey. No signings in this January transfer window. Nothing's changing.
Yeah,
Nothing's going to change.
yeah, yeah. It's unfortunately it's a cycle that has been happening at Arsenal, and forgive me, I would rather contradict with Audrey, uh, but I feel as a club, everyone is too comfortable at Arsenal, and it all boils down to the fans. I don't think fans of other clubs would be as calm if business was handled as it is handled at Arsenal. Because there are times when you literally get a player you don't really need. We started talking about a defending midfielder like 2 seasons ago, if you remember,
Mm-hmm.
Alex.
Yeah.
We were like, we really need a backup, and we were citing one of that youngster from, he was playing I think for Wolverhampton, but he was from a French league. He was on loan. We
Mm-hmm.
were bringing him up like last season. Like, okay, this guy is playing good. He really played good against us. And then we're like, really, this guy could be Partey's number two, you know? And that didn't happen. Same as centre forward position. We really struggled at the end of the season last season. So we were expecting, going into the transfer market before the season began, we were expecting Arteta to, the first signing Arteta would have made is a kind of different kind of centre forward from Jesus and Eddie Ketia, and he went on to add on to the power of centre midfields or attacking midfielders that we already have enough players there. Then, as if that isn't enough, he goes to buy wingers. But in the wings, we already sorted apart from probably Saka's side because Marquinhos was there. Wasn't a bad player, but Marquinhos is there. Then he loans him out and then goes to buy for 65, goes to buy you know who. And then I'm like, okay, fine. How many positions do we critically need a player? Defending midfielder, we really needed a player. Center forward, we really needed a player. Or even Saka's position, we really needed a player. Then you go and buy someone who we already have. So on that point alone, Arteta has to take the blame, and that's not to do with the club or the board or the FP, Financial Fair Play, FFP. No, it's Arteta's blame, because you have to look at your budget. Arsenal has always been a budget top four team, unfortunately. So when you're given an opportunity to buy players, make it count. Do not buy players you don't need. Make it count. So on that one, it's Arteta, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Again, I don't see anything changing anytime soon. And there's been a lot of rumours about whether Arsenal will extend his contract in the coming
Yeah.
months.
Mm.
Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change.
Yeah. On that point, nothing is changing at Arsenal. As I said in the first statement, the fans are too comfortable. It's been one story from one story to another. When Henry was leaving, oh, we building the stadium. So when we finished building the stadium, I was like, okay, fine. Now we get into the competition. Then other stories have been popping up, and now we in the process story. When do we give the shelf life the process? When does it expire? When do we say this is enough? We need results now. You see? So nothing's gonna change at Arsenal, and the unfortunate part is that Arteta is being used as an scapegoat. If
Mm.
anything fails to work out, it's like, oh, he needs time. He's still inexperienced, but we all know that's just a story, another story to buy them time. You
Mm,
see,
mm,
so for me, nothing is changing at Arsenal. Unfortunately, you can predict where we end up at the end of the season. From the start of the season, how we conduct transfers, FFP just came in and gave them a very good reason not to buy. But honestly, these guys were not even looking.
mm. Oh, well, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change.
Oh,
All right, so let's get on to the first topic. Um, Nottingham Forest against Arsenal. Aldrich, you know what I realise about Arsenal, amongst a lot of other things, is that when we play against a team when there is a low block, we struggle. We struggle for ideas. I see a lot of sideways play, backwards play, some triangles, slow build up, but we always struggle when there's a team with a low block. And we struggled against Nottingham Forest. Listen, I know we won eventually, but it could have been so different if Matt Turner did not, give away that first goal against Gabriel Jesus. But how did you see the performance against Nottingham Forest, even though we won 2-1?
Uh, I was scared. I had to be honest because when we are on the top of the game, when we have more than 70% of possession, when we are constantly getting into onto the other keepers and not concreting, I get scared because that's the typical game that we ended up well talking about the misses instead of the game itself. But fortunately, well, we got the 3 points. um I have to say that I think that that's the main thing to focus on with our team is to please be more efficient when you're in front of the goal, because we're gonna keep suffering the remaining season if we keep doing this. And this is something normal. If you take a look at the stats of the game, we had 73% of the possession, and we got 19 shots against 9 of Nottingham Forest. But the result was short. If you see a 2-1, you're gonna say that the game was a 50-50, and it wasn't like
It
that.
wasn't.
It wasn't like that. So again, I'm happy that we got the 3 points, but I don't know what's going on with the team because they always show us the practices, the finishing practices, and we see them controlling the game properly, shooting from this side, from shooting from the other side. But at the game itself, we don't see that. We see a team that wants to go in the 11 players with the ball inside the net. So um, I have to say that I'm a bit worried for that because this is something that we're seeing on all the games. We are controlling them, we have the possession, but like you mentioned, as soon as a team starts defending properly, as soon as all their players are on their half of the pitch, we struggle. We struggle.
Mm.
So I think that we have to see what is going on. We need to shoot more, but shoot efficiently, not just throwing it out on the other side. Just make sure that we are putting a goalkeeper into work.
Yeah, yeah. Do you still think we're still predictable, Aldrich? Because again, Bukayo Saka on the right, Martinelli on the left. You're going to have Odegaard on the right hand side with the triangular plays, and if it doesn't go to him, it's going to go to Declan Rice. Are we still too predictable? Or
It's not the fact that we are predictable. And well, I'll be clear with this. Our main enemy, it's ourselves. Arsenal's main enemy, it's Arsenal. If you see, when we control a game, when we're playing against any team, let's take last season as an example. We look consistent because in front of goal we were more effective. Now this is the struggle for these games. Um, I have to be honest. If we start focusing on ourselves and try to be the same attacking team as last season, we wouldn't be even talking about this. So I think it's something psychological. Fortunately, we had that break when we were with the bad games, with the bad results previously, because now we're seeing a team that is pushing a bit more, but we're still lacking of that spark. That's what we need, a spark in front of goal.
okay, and for you, Prosper, Nottingham Forest, man, we made heavy
yeah,
heavy work of that game.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know how to put it across, but as Audric has said, if you look at Arsenal, we are stabbing ourselves. Okay, we talked about this on the last Easy Talk. Was like, okay, what has changed from last season to this season? And it's pure simple. When Arteta came in, he was playing like an underdog. He would let the other team have the possession
Mm.
and he would counter them. That's how we won those two cups when he just came in. We just won them on counterattacks. We knew we had fast paced players. So we let City come in, we let Chelsea come in, and we hit them on counterattacks. And that's how we won most of the games. And after those trophies went to last season, we were playing almost the same game, but we started finding our feet. And now, when the confidence has grown, he's forgotten the fundamentals that put him there. You see, because if you look at, I'm always looking at it from a technical part. If you look at our front three, okay, if he's trying to play expensive football, Barcelona kind of football, if you take Prem Barcelona, Henry on the side, or probably Ronaldinho or Neymar on the other side. On the center, Eto. On the other side, there would be Yuli, or the same, probably Neymar, Suarez, Messi. They would play a lot of football in the midfield, drawing the other team to come out. Then they knew they had the pace. They always have the pace in the front three to go there fast. You see, whilst us we're doing the exact opposite. We're going, we have fast-paced strikers, yet we want to play in their half. Why not bring them out, do a lot of passing in the midfield? We know Martinelli has got the pace. We know Jesus isn't a slow player, and neither is Nketiah. We know Saka isn't a slow player. Why not bring them out, pass around whilst in the midfield, let them come out, then hit them with that pace? I think that would work rather than going there as if we have a big number nine where we can just put in the cross, he'll head it like Haaland is. He's trying to copy Pep Guardiola, but Guardiola's got big players. Look at the stature of his players. He can throw two big guys in the box and they will destabilize that defense. You see, and the De Bruyne's will pounce on the wasses, on the balls that come out. But Arsenal got small players, so we have to play to our strengths, and that's what Arteta is missing. We can't just go into that box. I mean, sorry, no disrespect on the players. The only player we have who's got ball retention in our front, exceptional ball retention, probably is Jesus. But we don't want him to be retaining the ball, like close ball control. It's Jesus who's got that technical ability. The rest are players who need space to play. Saka needs space, two defenders, he'll go through. But when it's crowded, he'll just pass the ball back. Martinelli, listen. You see, so we have to look at our strengths, what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses, and we have to play. So as you were saying, we've become too predictable. Sometimes let's play the long ball over everyone, let the young guys run, and probably will win some games easily than we make of it. So we are really stabbing ourselves in the back because we're not looking at how our technical abilities, our strengths, we're not looking at that. We're trying to play football from elsewhere. I feel Arteta is like, okay, we are impressed with, we praise them, but we want to win games. And we don't want to praise teams. We want to win games.
Just one other criticism of this current team is that there are not enough leaders. There's not enough leaders. People are talking, communicating, and even though the coach maybe for the whole week has drilled into them, this is going to be the tactics come Saturday. When it's not working, you don't have enough leaders on the pitch to say, actually, guys, let's kind of change things up a bit to see if we can change and get a result. I know the manager has trained us for certain tactics, but it's not working. It's not working. So the one criticism, Aldrich, is that there are not enough leaders on the pitch. All right, you've got Martin Odegaard, who's the club captain, but the one who's more vocal is maybe Jorginho and Declan Rice. Everybody else, they're all just following. Wherever you go, they're followers. There's not enough leaders on the pitch, Aldrich.
Yes, but it's like this since the past season. The other talker that we had before, it was Granit Xhaka, and he's
Mm.
not there anymore. Now you're mentioning Declan Rice, but he is still like trying to earn that captain position, if we can name it like that,
Yeah.
since he's new. So basically, we're talking about just Martin Odegaard as the main captain that we see him talking on the pitch. Now, what I can say about it is that Martinelli and Saka last season they were making plays on their own or making a difference on previous games. Now that all the teams know how they play,
Mm.
we've been restricted like to see that different make that difference that they make on the pitch. Now we are lacking of a play of different players that can make a difference. Right now we have Jesus that fortunately that he's playing well, and we can see that well he is a score. The goal that he scored against Turner, it was all of a sudden out of nowhere, and that's what we need from the rest of the players. Odegaard, I don't know what's wrong with him. He was a player that he liked to shot outside, well from long range, and now he's not doing that. I see. I think that the players are missing of that. Final touch, or that they are so into the Arteta script that they
Yeah.
don't want to make
Yeah.
a difference on their own, and that's what we're lacking. We don't need players who talk on the pitch. Honestly, I don't see like that will make a difference, but we need players who said like, okay, the instruction was to pass the ball. I'm not gonna pass it. I'm gonna shoot. So that's like the mentality that we need from our key players, like so they can get out of the script and try to make a difference on the game, that because they see that they are very like robots doing exactly what they're asked for, but it's part
Yeah.
of football. They can change the script on their own.
Yeah. Yeah. Prosper, is there anything else you want to say on that before I go into the live
Yeah,
chat?
like Audric has said, it's all script. It's all script, and
Hmm.
I feel Ateta is using too much technology in his coaching.
Hmm.
Sometimes you gotta let football be played old school. You know, and honestly, I'll tell you the truth. The best years of I watched soccer were between 1994, 98, then the 2000s of the Invincibles. You could literally enjoy football because you had players of different talent showcasing their skills. But the football we're watching right now is all script. Like Audrich was saying, Odegaard can shoot from far. Same issue I raised uh, in the previous Easy Talk I was on. Partey can shoot from far. Rice can shoot from far. Why aren't they shooting? That was the kind of Lampard, Gerrard football we used to watch. Even Vieira used to shoot from far. I mean, when the opportunity is there, just shoot. Forget about the manager. But what I've seen at the club, going back to the script football, is if you look at why the players are afraid and why we don't seem to have a leader in that team, is because Arteta wants it to be that way. Anybody who grows wings and
Exactly.
tries to stalk is
Exactly.
kicked
Hmm.
out of the club. Look at Aubameyang. Look at the trend. Lacazette. Anybody who's big enough to open up and say, this is not working, let's try something else. Also, you're challenging me. So now, I'm a young player just finding my feet in the football realm, and I see a pillar like Aubameyang kicked out for just trying to express, look, if you want to play this kind of football, I'm not going to be efficient, because how does a prolific striker like Aubameyang go dry? Answer those questions. Then Lacazette went dry, you know? So there's something wrong. So if a player speaks out, I can't play this kind of football. We need to switch it up a bit. Then you go in against me, go out of this club. So I'm a young player like Martinelli. I'm thinking, I haven't even made my name. If I'm kicked out of Arsenal, probably I'm going back to Brazil, you
Hmm.
know? So
Hmm.
I better stick to what the manager says. Martinelli used to cut in and take shots and go, but he's been specifically told, go to the line, never cutting. He stopped cutting in, you know? So these are
Hmm.
the things we're talking about. So it's not about a leader, but everything for me right now is on Arteta, because at the end of the day, we have the quality, like I was saying on the group, we have the players. We're not the third best or fourth best club in the league. We're, I think, the second best club in the league. But it's not working because the manager isn't up to second best club in the league. You see? And it's
Uh,
kind of difficult.
um, Aldrich, we had the Easy Talk last week, and I asked this question on one of the panelists, and I'm going to ask you the same question about the process. When do we draw a line under this process, or does the process just have to continue and continue and continue, Aldrich?
Well, I have to be honest, because I still believe in Arteta and on what he's doing. But I think that the line that you're mentioning, it's gonna be crossed next season. I don't think that only something until a catastrophe goes on our team on this season, that we came out, that we get out of the Champions League positions, and we go really low on the table. I don't see this coming. For this transfer window, we weren't able to make any signing, but we're aware that on this upcoming one in the summer, we will be signing some players, and we will see if they are gonna be committed on what Mikel needs and the team itself needs. So I think that that line is gonna be drawn until next season. I think that we have to keep an eye on how we're gonna be by the end of this season with the return of some players, and see how the team plays, because to be honest, also Arteta is guilty on what is going on lately with the results. But I give a lot of responsibility to the players, because we're not seeing the same football that we saw last season, and the only change that we literally have was Granit Xhaka on the starting 11, and we solved that problem with an excellent player as Declan Rice is. Um, if the players are connected, if we do see an Arsenal that is meant to win the game with five, well, at least three goal difference,
Mm.
that's when we're gonna be some, well, a different Arsenal. The football that we played last season, removing the last games, it was unbelievable. We were happy to see finally a team that is playing offensively and being effective, and also defensively. But something that I'm seeing this season is that the clean sheets are gonna be difficult. We are the team with most clean sheets, and it's being awful from us defensively talking. So that's a lot to say on the Premier League. We have to keep focusing on the offensive part of the team, and with having that small improve, I think that we're gonna get together on thinking on what we need as a team again. uh, I cannot blame you all to say that Arteta is the one that we need to blame the most, but I think that we have to give that, or if we have to point at someone, it's going to be the players, because we know how they play, and um, honestly, honestly, I think that there is something with the team itself mentally, because we see that spark in one game, and in the other game we see a totally different team. But I realize that guilt to the players more than on Arteta. So the line is gonna be draw next season if we don't win the Premier, or like if we really don't win the Premier League and do a good run on the Champions League. I think like for the next season we can be talking about who will replace Arteta. But so far I don't see it, at least for this season now.
But you say about the players, but just previously we're talking about a system which has been post-scripted. So no matter how the players want to play, Arteta wants them to play this way, which is like restricting their how can I say it, their the flair that they have there. So
But
is
I
it
think
really
that
down to the
we're
players, Aldrich?
we're, we're making an assumption in there. We cannot be 100% sure if that is what Arteta wants on the team. Again, we were playing on a certain way, but different players were getting out of the script, and that's why we have different goal scorers last season, according with assist and goals. That's what we're not seeing right now. We are relying on someone who make a difference on a specific game, instead of know, instead of us knowing that and a specific player is gonna do something different. I'm gonna proceed with the example of Alexis Sanchez. Before the game started, we knew that we were going to see a goal or an assist
Yeah.
from Sanchez. The same with Cazorla when he was fit. We knew that, or Aaron Ramsey on the season of 2013, we knew that Ramsey or Cazorla were going to do something different because we saw them in every single game having that, and that's the thing that we're missing. We know what Martinelli can give us. We know what Saka and Odegaard can give us. The same Jesus, but we're seeing a team that wants to do it like all together as a team, to say it exactly like that, instead of saying, okay, no, I'm gonna do this. But I think that those on the players itself, on the players
Mm.
themselves, not Arteta. So that's something psychological that needs to be talked on.
Okay. All right. Go on, Prosper.
Yeah, I don't think it's about the players. It's always Arteta. I mean, if you watch the Man U game yesterday, did you see what that 18-year-old boy did?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think Arteta would allow even Martinelli, who's a senior player right now at Arsenal, to dribble like that and take it up on himself. Then the next game he'll be on the bench and Trossard will be in. Believe me, because if you look at the trend of events, Martinelli has always been the casualty of the bench, even when in a game where he's the only outstanding player. 75 minutes, 72 minutes, he's pulled out, and then you're wondering, okay. And these other guys were just laughing in there. So that has a psychological impact on you. Okay, if I don't do what the manager wants, I'll keep sitting on the bench. And that's one of the biggest reasons why Emil Smith Rowe has been sitting on the bench. Not that he hasn't got the ability, but Emil Smith Rowe is the kind of player who wants to dribble and drive into the box. That Arteta doesn't want. He wants players who can pass, because that was his football. You know, anybody who's got raw talent, skills, sit on the bench. You're not allowed to do that. Look at Arsenal. Right now, a player like Saka would have been given a free role. Be another manager like Bellingham is given by Ancelotti. There are players you need to trust. Okay, if the game is difficult, do whatever you can do in there. But nobody is picking up that mentor in our squad. Everybody's playing to script. And look at how long it takes for our centre backs to pass the ball. They will be passing it amongst themselves. Look at how Liverpool hammered us last time. Van Dijk would see, oh, there's an opportunity and I've got pace. Salah has got pace. He would just send a long ball. When was the last time you saw our two centre backs sending a long ball for the fast paced Martinelli? Never. It's always Gabriel thinking he's going left, then you take it back to Saliba. You see, and Martinelli will be there open, calling for the ball, and it's not coming.
Yeah.
But
That's
now that you
pure
mentioned
management.
that, you hit the right spot, because we're not seeing that even from the midfielders. The one who is doing
Exactly.
it is Jorginho. If you see the goal, one of the goals that Martinelli scored the
Mm.
last week, you saw that Jorginho passed, that he thought Rice started to do that, and I don't know why he stopped doing it, because he was a player
Yeah.
that is doing it, those key passes between the defenders. But you hit the spot. You hit the spot, because he's not only our central defenders; it's the whole team that is missing of that.
Exactly. Exactly. And if you look at the reason why Jorginho is able to do that, Jorginho has achieved everything in football. If Arteta chases him, he's gonna find another big club. He has all the silverware. He has the accolades. I'm a young player in that squad trying to make my name. If Arsenal kicks me out, I'm ending up probably in a second tier or third tier team. You see? And my career might just go sideways. So there's always that fear. You know, Jorginho has achieved it all as a footballer. He's won the Champions League, he's won. At least he's achieved a lot, you know? So he hasn't got that fear in him to play his football. But look at when Partey came, we're like, okay, this guy can pick a pass from range, you know? So I was like, okay,
He was doing it.
because Arteta started by doing counter attacks. So I was thinking, okay, Partey has come in specifically to throw in those long balls like Song was throwing to Van Persie, and then he starts playing. He's never sending in those long balls, but he's got the ability. Right, the same. And you're like, okay, what's happening here? They can't shoot from far anymore, outside the box, but those guys got the ability to do so. So, for me, it's everything is on Arteta. It's nothing to, because if I have a player with pace, I gotta play to the strength of that player. You see, I ain't got to play Saka like he's Messi, or I ain't got to play Martinelli like he's Ronaldinho. No, they haven't got that technical ability. Or our midfield, I ain't got to play them like they're Iniesta or Xavi. They won't keep the ball like that well. I have to play with what I have, and that's where we have a problem. It's the technical side. Arteta is getting everything wrong. And it will take him a while to wake up and say, I think I'm getting it wrong, because he's trying to force it and it's not working out.
Well, he's got to stop being stubborn, and look. But anyway, let's go into the live chat for the first time. The moderator for this show is Ashley D. And he says, congrats to Partey. Lasted 1 week before getting injured again. I'm saying nothing. John Laguna says, even goodness, let's give Klopp a day to remember. All right.
Nice. That's the vibe we need.
We're going to get into that in a moment, actually. We need to get rid of Partey. Aldrich, stick him on eBay. What else do we have here? We've got Christopher Chang. It's been a long while. We need a left back more. Do we need a left back more?
No, we don't. We have our new players, Tomiyasu and Timber. You will meet them, Chan. You will see them when they make the debut this season.
And our resident Liverpool subscriber, that is, Carl. Good evening to you, Carl. Hope you are well. Who's Arsenal's got next? Liverpool, of course. Should have at least signed Elise or Pedro Neto. Prosper.
Well, we should have at least signed. Period. Whoever who wants to come, want to do it at this window.
Oh, dearie me. What else do we have here? Carl says teams will have to rely on youth systems more now because you can't just spend big. Welcome to the Liverpool model. But Prosper, that's one thing. I think, like you said before, Arteta, I think people get confused or they have short memories. Emil Smith-Rowe and Bukayo Saka were given their debuts under Unai Emery.
Arteta Martinelli as well.
Say again? And Martinelli.
Martinelli, I think. Yeah. Martinelli, I think.
So Arteta hasn't got that in him to give the youngsters a go in the first team.
Actually, he's selling the potential stars.
Okay. We need to sell some players. What else do we have here? Just a few more. There's one. Prosper. Who starts Emil Smith-Rowe or Kai Havertz?
I ain't answering that one.
All right, obvious. Okay, Aldrich, who starts?
I can. Yeah, I will go with Havertz. Something that you have to remember, my friend, is that Emil Smith-Rowe came out from an injury too. And a long-term one, so that's why he is not been playing as a starter or what that we haven't seen him that much. He just came out from a long-term injury. He is another new signing, so I know and we all know what Emil Smith-Rowe is capable of doing, but right now we have to rely on who's playing more games, who can have like more experience to do a good game on this upcoming match. And if we saw the game at Anfield, Kai Havertz was doing it good, so I rely on him instead of Smith-Rowe so far.
Okay. So we'll come actually to the last segment about the game.
Mhm.
Arsenal versus Liverpool. And
Mm.
truth be told, when I saw Man City play, I thought, wow. But then when I saw Liverpool play, I thought, oh my goodness. Prosper, where do you see this one going? Arsenal versus Liverpool.
As it's always been, ever since we started losing to Liverpool. We play well, we make a mistake, they capitalize on our mistake, and they win the game. Last time I said the same. There's just something wrong with. We always give away the ball in the midfield or somewhere, then they hit us on a counter. We done. Same mistake as the Nottingham Forest. Counter attacks. Anybody who catches us on a counter attack, we done.
But Prosper,
So
is it a mental block we still have playing against
it's a
Liverpool?
system.
Oh,
It's a
oh,
tactical
okay.
approach. When you're going into a game with a team as good as Liverpool, as prolific as Liverpool, you gotta have a game plan. You don't go with the same game plan as you play Nottingham Forest, the same game plan as any other team. You're not going to press Liverpool and expect they've got very fast strikers. They're gonna hit you very fast and you won't see it coming. So you gotta go in, as I was saying, play it in the midfield. You have time to recover and you can also attack them with your pace. So they'll be scared. They'll be like, okay, if these guys, we let them kick that ball behind our defenders, they've got the pace to hit us. So they'll be afraid. They'll be playing a cautious game. You'll be playing a cautious game. Then let the best technical team win. But when you give it to them, you go and attack. And they know Arsenal can come at us. They failed to score Nottingham Forest. We've got the better defenders. Let them come. And then when they're sleeping, we're going to hit them hard. And that's how it will be, even tomorrow. Arteta is trying to impress the crowd. Oh, we're playing expensive football to what cost? Sometimes you gotta scrap it and win. Like Aldrich was saying, sometimes you just gotta win it the scrappy way. The Gabriel, is it Magnez type, two headers
Yeah,
from nowhere.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
winning the game. You gotta win it sometimes the scrappy way. The 3 points count. So if it's not working, the same old system not working, let's play different football tomorrow. Boring football, I don't care, but let's win the game.
Now I don't know whether it's mind games being played already, because I saw Jurgen Klopp's part of his press conference, and he's talking about Darwin Nunez is a potential doubt for Liverpool. Aldrich.
Well, I have to be honest. Right now, we're going to play against the best team in the Premier League at this very moment. Their top of the table talks about themselves,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's gonna be rough because as you both mentioned previously, against Liverpool we do great matches, but just one mistake of half of a mistake ends in a goal.
you pay for it. Mm.
It to be honest, and that's our specialty too. When a player is playing bad, they play against Arsenal and they do their best game of their life. So with Darwin, if there is a doubt with him, I hope that he doesn't play, because if he's gonna play against us, I can imagine the worst, because it's always like that. Diogo Jota, it's
Oh,
another play that I know that I hope that we can win, and I'm gonna give you the answer in advance. I think that we're gonna win 3-2, and one of those two goals are going to be of Diogo Jota. You know why I'm saying that? Because
why?
I trust what we have. Tomorrow it's a game that we cannot miss our opportunities. Last game at Anfield, we just have 5 shots in on target and we scored 2 goals. This time I think that we're gonna be efficient. This is a game, this is a must win game. Like I told you before we start the show, this is the first final of the season, because if we want to win the Premier League, we need to take at least a point to Liverpool, because they just have just one loss on the season. If we have to if we want to catch them and pass them, we need to take most of the points that we have to a play to a team that is playing
Mm.
amazingly well. Now with clubs the departure, with that, the players are more inspired to give them the
Yeah.
title as a goodbye gift. So this is the real test for us on this season. Not even Manchester City. If we win this game or at least do a draw, we can talk about now trying to win the Premier League.
Well said. And actually, John has given his prediction already. 1-0 to the Arsenal, and Kai Havertz to score. Prosper.
We will concede a goal for sure. I
mean,
cannot say that
I
we're gonna
mean,
have a
I
clean sheet.
mean, I cannot say no because look at what Arteta has done for Havertz. He hasn't done for any other player. Every other player has had to earn the right to shoot. Immediately Havertz came in. When you have the ball, throw it at Havertz. So that's why you see the goals. If you had to be thrown in like Emil Smith Rowe, just go and do the basic work. I don't think you'll be getting those goals, but he's been pushed in that position so that we can love him, And that's why I said previously, at some point it will crack and it will go dry again. Because you can't just be playing football, everything go to Havertz. What if he doesn't deliver? Are we going to lose the game just because we want to play Havertz or make him play better? No. You see, so against Liverpool, this one is a tough one to predict. Honestly speaking, I can't predict this one because every time I do, I look at Arsenal when we go to Anfield or at home, we're beating this team like 5 or 4 today, and then all of a sudden one mistake, then the second goal comes in very fast. And
that's been the
in no
story.
time we are lost. We don't even know what we're doing in the pitch. They're playing, they're toiling on us. So for me, this time I'm not predicting. Maybe it's me who brings the bad horror. See? This time I'm just gonna lay back and watch the game. It hurts,
Yeah, I can't blame you. We're playing against the best team right now, and they have that motivation of
Yeah.
club's temperature.
Yeah.
So we're even fighting a tougher team with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I fear Liverpool without Salah more than with Salah because they're more direct without Salah.
Yeah. Yeah. More dangerous. More dangerous.
Yeah, and they have Diogo Jota, so I don't know what to say about him. He cannot see our shield on a field because he's going to score always. I don't know what's wrong with Diogo Jota that he cannot watch us play. I
He's
don't
a
know.
really good player. Really good
He
Yeah,
player.
shoots
and
so far.
but it's
Yeah.
against us. It's against us that he becomes Messi. I don't know what's wrong with Diogo Jota against us. But for something that I have to say because I don't like how Zinchenko defends at all. At all, I don't like how his defense role is on the team. But if Salah is not there, I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna breathe. I can watch the game a little bit with more hope of not conceding because Zinchenko against Salah, it's something that I cannot describe. And if he's playing that I know that he's gonna be playing, I will support him. I want him to do well, but we have to talk about reality and his defense job on the team. It's worst. I don't know. So whoever plays as a Ryan week against us, fortunately, is not Salah, and I hope that he doesn't recover for tomorrow. He's still a doubt, right?
He is. Yeah. There's
Okay,
still
I
a
hope
doubt.
that he or if he doesn't recover, to put him play. I don't know, in 5 minutes that he get a setback.
Do you know what? We've come to an end on this Easy Talk. Inside an hour. Guys, thank you. Thank you for giving us your time. I think Aldrich, you can go and get your 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 food.
My
Yeah,
lunch.
yeah, lunch.
Ah,
Yeah. And Aldrich, again, congratulations for joining the club, the marriage
yeah.
club.
Thank you. I
Congratulations,
appreciate it.
Audrey. I'll join you guys later.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. That's
We'll be
good.
waiting
That's
for you.
good.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
becoming
Keep
senior
waiting.
gunners.
Yeah. And Prosper, again, thank you. Thank you for coming on again. And it's always a pleasure to have my brothers on the Easy Talk sharing this time on the platform. So that's it, people. I will be back tomorrow, giving some more live news and maybe an instant post-game reaction. Arsenal versus Liverpool. I don't want to give a prediction.
3-2.
No.
3-2.
Maybe.
Let's enjoy the game.
Just try and enjoy the game. Don't get upset. Yeah.
Let's
Anyhow,
pick the
this.
positives.
Sorry. Go on, Prosper. Go on.
I was saying, let's pick the positives. Let's take note of the negatives. Or let's just enjoy the game tomorrow.
Try and enjoy the game. Well said. Anyhow, people, this Canon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Enjoy your evenings.